began as an immigration raid in Minneapolis has now exploded into nationwide outrage. An ICE agent shot and killed a 37-year-old mother of 3, and within hours, protests erupted, schools shut down, and federal vehicles were attacked. Now, officials are telling very different stories about what really happened. Wednesday morning, in a quiet, snow-covered neighborhood just south of downtown Minneapolis, Renee Nicole Macklin Good sat behind the wheel of her SUV. Minutes later, she was dead, shot in the head by a federal immigration officer. ICE and Homeland Security officials quickly claimed the shooting was self-defense, saying the woman tried to ram officers with her vehicle.
I want to reiterate, first with all of you, the facts of what happened today. At 10:25 a.m. Central Time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement were carrying out lawful operations here in Minneapolis. Because of the adverse weather that Minneapolis has seen in recent snow, one of the vehicles became stuck and ensnared in the snow. Law enforcement were attempting to push out this vehicle, and when a mob of agitators that were harassing them all day began blocking them in, shouting at them, and impeding law enforcement operations. ICE officers and agents approached the vehicle of the individual in question, who was blocking the officers in with her vehicle, and she had been stalking and impeding their work all throughout the day. ICE agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over. This appears as an attempt to kill or to cause bodily harm to agents, an act of domestic terrorism. The ICE officer, fearing for his life and the other officers around him and the safety of the public, fired defensive shots. He used his training to save his own life and that of his colleagues. He was treated at a local hospital, has been released, and is now with family. I encourage the American people at this point in time to pray for him, but also to pray for the deceased's family and her loved ones.
But Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey called that explanation garbage, saying video footage directly contradicts the federal account. According to witnesses, Macklin Good was trying to leave the area when agents surrounded her car. One nearby resident says an officer stood in front of the vehicle, pressed against the hood, and then fired multiple shots through the windshield. Despite federal officials labeling the incident domestic terrorism, local leaders aren't buying it. Mayor Frey and Governor Tim Walz both say this tragedy was predictable and preventable.
This morning we learned that an ICE officer shot and killed someone in Minneapolis. My deepest condolences to the family, to the loved ones who had to learn about this tragic event on national television. We've been warning for weeks that the Trump administration's dangerous, sensationalized operations are a threat to our public safety, that someone was going to get hurt. Just yesterday, I said exactly that. What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV, and today that recklessness cost someone their life. I've reached out to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and I'm waiting to hear back. Let me be clear, Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident, but we love this state. We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry.
Within hours, protesters flooded the streets chanting, "ICE out of Minnesota." Some demonstrators clashed with heavily armed federal agents wearing gas masks. Chemical munitions were fired, ICE vehicles were damaged, and spontaneous protests spread to other cities across the country. Minneapolis public schools canceled classes and activities for 2 days, citing safety concerns. This shooting happened just 1 mile from where George Floyd was murdered in 2020, reopening deep wounds in a city still shaped by police violence protests. The Twin Cities have also become a major target of the Trump administration's latest immigration crackdown, particularly against the Somali American community. More than 2,000 federal officers have been deployed to the area as ICE operations intensify. Family members describe Renee Macklin Good as compassionate, deeply religious, and devoted to her children. She had just dropped off her 6-year-old son at school that morning. The FBI is investigating the shooting. Federal officials stand by the agent. City and state leaders are demanding accountability, and tensions remain high as protests continue. One woman is dead, a city is on edge, and once again, America is confronting the explosive intersection of immigration enforcement, federal power, and the use of deadly force.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.